Hello, everyone. I wanted to talk about the Ecosystem Incentives Program Tree Incentive Guidance. Beginning April 1st, 2023, new Maryland Agricultural Cost Share Projects, or MACS, with certain conservation practices may be eligible for a tree incentive payment on top of the MACS cost share provided in the MACS agreement. The incentive is $2 per tree. The eligible practices are windbreak establishment, NRCS code 380, which is a 10-year agreement, silvopasture, NRCS code 381, also 10 years, which is introducing trees into active livestock pastures, riparian forest buffer, NRCS code 391, which is a 15-year agreement, which is planting trees next to a stream, hedgerow planting, NRCS code 422, a 10-year agreement, which is hedgerows along edges of farm fields or roads, and tree and shrub establishment, NRCS code 612, which is a 10-year agreement on agricultural land outside of the stream corridor. The MACS program will receive an application for a non-CREP tree planting. Once the application is reviewed, the MACS team will notify Ecosystem Incentive staff. We will generate a bonus incentive form if this form was not submitted with the application, and we will generate a letter, which I will show you in a minute, that the MACS staff will mail with the application packet. The incentive payment is available for any new trees or any of these new practices planted as a component of the practice and will be paid to the participant after the following has occurred. A claim for payment for the eligible practice is submitted and approved by the MACS team. Invoices are submitted showing the number of trees or shrubs installed. A bonus incentive payment form has been submitted to the Conservation Grants Office. If the form has not been submitted at the time of the MACS application, then that form will be mailed to the participant with their MACS project approval letter, and the information on the form will be pre-filled by Conservation Grants, but the dollar amount of the payment cannot be determined until the practice is complete. The Soil Conservation District will update the bonus form for the participant while they're completing the claim for payment form. Please verify the number of trees actually installed, and the calculated incentive payment will be filled in at that time. The incentive is based on the number of trees planted or installed, not the acres of the practice. We can go through a bonus incentive form example here. So the name would be Ice Cream Trail LLC, just as an example. And then you can put care of, and that would be the name of the applicant that is affiliated with the entity. And then the address, I'm just going to put the MDA address, 50 Harry S. Truman Parkway, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. And then you would put the applicant's phone number and social security number or the federal identification number, depending on how they file their taxes. In this case, it is an entity, so the federal identification number and then the email. And that is section 1. Section 2 is going to include entering the MACS contract number. So, for example, MP 2024-2217. And then the contract length is 10 years. And then say they are doing 612, which is tree and shrub establishment. And then the number of trees, say they planted 650 trees, they would get $1,300, which is $2 a tree. Then just to give you another example, say it is a healthy soils application and a 3-year contract length. And then say they did 381, which is silvopasture, and they planted 650 trees. That's going to be $1,300. But let's say you get the invoice and it is only 450 trees. So the payment would drop down to $900. So either MACS, Conservation Grants, or the Soil Conservation District will fill this form out. And then you want the applicant to sign and date the form. So that is what the bonus form is for. Now I'm going to go ahead and clear this form. Now I'll show you the letter, which will be included in the MACS approval payment. Or approval packet, excuse me. The letter will state the name of the MACS practice. In this case, it is 1.5 acres in the MACS hedgerow planting practice. The letter will state the name of the practice and describe what we need to process the bonus payment. So it says that the applicant may be eligible for a one-time state-sponsored signing bonus of $2 per tree, which will be processed, if eligible, once your MACS application has been approved and a claim for payment form has been received. To receive the payment, we'll need a signed bonus form and invoice showing the number of trees installed, sent to the address below, which is Conservation Grants, Maryland Department of Agriculture, along with the MACS claim for payment. Upon receipt, we will mail a check to the applicant or entity. Then I just wanted to show the brochure on the website. It's under the Conservation Grants tab, MDA Conservation Grants tab. Maryland farmers get paid to plant trees, and trees benefit farmland. They provide shade for farm animals. They shelter crops from harsh winds and rain. They provide habitat for game and wildlife and add beauty and color to the landscape. This brochure also mentions other programs such as the Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program, where there is a one-time state bonus payment of $1,000 per acre for new riparian buffer enrollments. And that's for new enrollments, not existing enrollments. There is a conservation buffer initiative where farmers can get paid up to $4,500 an acre to install a riparian buffer with pasture fencing adjacent to a stream, or up to $4,000 an acre for installing a riparian buffer or grass buffer adjacent to streams and cropland. I mentioned the Healthy Soils Competitive Fund earlier on the bonus form. And at the end of this brochure, it describes the MACS cost share practices we have been discussing today. Thank you very much. Hopefully this was helpful, and don't hesitate to call us in Conservation Grants if you have further questions.